Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's the Hoops Guru. It's Thursday night, and I got one eye on my fantasy football team. We're looking good so far, but it's only Thursday night. But anyway, you guys aren't here for me to talk football, at least right now. You're here to listen to me talk about basketball. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, we're going down to the South Division. And the Atlanta Hawks are one of the premier teams in the South Division. They probably have a great chance of winning this division again. Last year, they were 11th in the league in field goal percentage, 11th in points scored, and 15th in three-point percentage, which is kind of surprising with a guy like Kyle Korver. But when you got Al Horford and Millsap taking a lot of threes too, that may let your field goal percentage drop a little bit. But in any case, this team, remember, 3 years ago was in the same breath as the Golden State Warriors when they won 66 games and had 4 All-Stars. But 2 years removed from that, or 3 years removed from that now, there's only 2 All-Stars left in Kyle Korver and Paul Millsap. But there is something on the horizon coming to Atlanta. Can you see it? You forgot about this guy. But I think you're going to remember who this guy is when this season culminates. His name's Dwight Howard, and he's came home to Atlanta. I think this year we're going to remember who this guy is. He seems like, in the reports, it seems like he's really worked hard in his game over the summer, and I don't think he's going to be looking over his shoulder and worrying about whose team it is and any of those things anymore. No more Kobe Bryant to answer to, and no more James Harden. And he has a great coach, a coach in Coach Bud, who's a poor man's Popovich, who came from the school of Popovich and teaches teams how to work together, make the extra pass, giving up good shots for great shots. And he's going to give Dwight Howard the ball in the position to be successful. The guy that's going to be giving the ball to Dwight Howard is a point of interest, Dennis Schroeder. The quick German point guard with the blonde streak in his hair. This is your year. You know, Coach Bud was giving you a lot of primary time during the playoffs. I was kind of questioning, but Coach Bud believes in you, and now you have the keys to the city because, well, at least to the team, because they traded Jeff Teague. He's gone. He was traded in last year's draft for the 12th pick with Utah and the Indiana Pacers and George Hill, but we don't need to know those details right now. But what we need to know is with that 12th pick, they picked up Torrance Prince out of Baylor. Torrance Prince is a good hustle guy. In the Kenneth Faried vein, hustles the floor, runs well, good rebounder, nice mid-range shot. Going to be great energy off the bench. You need these type of guys with your second unit, so he's a great addition. Also, the Atlanta Hawks, they drafted Andre Bembry out of St. Joseph, I believe. Love this guy. Love his hair, nice afro. But he's one of those guys I think that can play the 1, 2, and the 3. He's a smart player, slasher, kind of in that Latrell Sprewell vein, but he's a good ball handler as well, and cerebral. That's what I want to see. He's a cerebral player as a rookie. But the big question is, will Coach Bud trust his rookies? He doesn't. He's not very keen on playing young players at all. But with the different trades they made, and especially the departure of Al Horford and Jeff Teague, they're going to have to kind of trend towards some of these younger players. He's going to have to trust in his system, and hopefully over the preseason and training camp, he's seen some growth where he's going to trust some of these young players like Tim Hardaway Jr. I think this is the year Tim Hardaway Jr. should show some confidence and growth, even to the point where the Atlanta Hawks should be consider trading Kyle Korver. I think at Kyle Korver's age, this is a good time to cash in the chips for an asset, maybe even a backup point guard, because I don't know how confident I am in Dennis Schroeder being the #1 guy for a whole season. Jaren Jack is behind him. Love Jaren Jack, but I loved Jaren Jack like 3 years ago. Not sure if he's the same guy he was when he was starring for the Golden State Warriors, and even when he had some standout games with the Brooklyn Nets. He's kind of removed from that vein now. It seems like a journeyman that's kind of hanging on to the tail of his career. Kyle Korver, I honestly was, in my mind, hoping they might have traded him to the Milwaukee Bucks for Michael Carter Williams. I would like to see that big point guard backing up Dennis Schroeder, like to change of pace, kind of in the Sean Livingston vein. But unfortunately, somebody else pulled the trigger, the Chicago Bulls, and made that trade with him. So Michael Carter Williams is a Chicago Bull now, so that's not going to happen. But yeah, that point guard situation for me is really shaky with Schroeder, Jaren Jack, and Will Bynum if he makes the roster. I don't even know. He may have gotten cut by now. So I'm not sure what they're going to do for a third guard. And maybe that's why a rookie like Brimbury may be able to contribute. But Coach Bud, he's going to have to, like I said, trust in these rookies a little bit. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. and Brimbury should be a part of his rotation heavy. And with Dwight Howard, their rebounding and defense should be a little bit better. So we should see that rebounding going up because they were 24th in the league last year. I definitely want to see that going up. And also, I think with Al Horford gone now, we may even see an uptick in somebody like Millsap, who I believe is in the last year of his contract. So, the guy may be playing for money again. We know there's no better motivation than playing for money for your next contract. We know how that works. We'll call it the Larry Hughes effect. So that's it in a nutshell with the Atlanta Hawks. I think this team has a potential to win anywhere between 51 games with injuries, or if it doesn't pan out with Schroeder, they can slide somewhere to 40, around 46 wins at the low scale. But I wouldn't be surprised if they won this division. It's going to be a tight division for sure, the Southeast Division, so you guys should pay attention to that. Because when you look at Atlanta, Charlotte, Washington, and don't count Miami out just because they don't have the big three anymore. They're well coached and they have a lot of athletes. So these guys are going to be taking wins and losses from each other. So 48 wins, 49 wins may be actually something that wins this division, or even something even low as 46 if the parity is really real close. But that's it in a nutshell. The Atlanta Hawks, quality team. They're definitely going to be a team in the mix. They'll be fun to watch. I'm excited to see what Dwight Howard does in his homecoming. I think that he should return to being an all-star with their record at the halfway point. But everybody's, hasn't completely written him off again, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But the biggest mystery is, can Dennis Schroeder handle prime time being the point guard? Because Jeff Teague, I liked him a lot. He's very serviceable, great point guard. Just really surprised they didn't go after somebody like Brandon Jennings, because I remember they even were almost traded Teague for Brandon Jennings, and for what the Knicks got Brandon Jennings for, you would have thought that they would have maybe took a flyer on someone like him, who's also playing for a new contract and is also a little more savvy and heady and a better playmaker than someone like Dennis Schroeder, who's kind of a hot and cold and a shoot first type of point guard. But in any case, we'll see. The seasons are right around the corner. This is the Hoops Guru. Please hit that subscribe button. Keep watching. Leave a comment, and I'll keep talking. Talk to you guys later. Have a good evening. Peace.